Today we have with us Dr. Shivabalan Ilangovan. Dr. Shivabalan Ilangovan is currently working with Apollo Hospital Ananagar and is an associate professor in the Department of Psychiatry, SRM Medical College Hospital, Katankulathur. He has over 11 years of experience in psychiatry and is a university gold medalist winner for MD Psychiatry by Tamil Nadu, Dr. MGR Medical University. He has published more than 10 papers in national and international journals and presented them at various forums both regionally and internationally. He has also published 8 books in Tamil and was awarded the prestigious Sujata Award for the novel Uyir Nadi in 2019. Welcome aboard Dr. Shivabalan Ilangovan. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. Let's talk about something that is prevalent these days, depression.
Good evening, everyone. It's very pleasure to talk to everyone through these type of virtual media. So we can connect now to anywhere, the instruments. So I am very happy to connect you all. Now we are going to talk about various issues related to mind and mental health. First of all, according to the WHO definition, the World Health Organization definition, health means it is not only a physical health. Health means it is a completely physical well-being, mental well-being and social well-being. But most often what we think, whenever anyone asks about our health, we immediately think physical health. Nowadays, even after Corona, everyone is health conscious. So everyone very much bother about the physical health. They are always worrying about the physical health and they are very much preoccupied over the physical health. If there is any symptoms, any cough, any cold, any fever, immediately what happens? Immediately we are get anxious and we want to make sure that we are perfectly healthy. We want to make sure that we are normal. We do not have any major problem. So we always worrying about the physical health. At the same time, we are neglecting about the mental health. When you look at the data, there are so much of statistics has been released nowadays. Throughout the world, particularly in the developing countries, more than the physical health problem, mental health problem is a more serious one. When you take India, for example, depression is the most common cause for the disability. It is not diabetes, it is not any other physical illness, but depression is the most common cause for the disability in India. Not only a disability, when you look at the suicidal data, the number of suicide is higher in India when compared to the any other world. Daily we are encountering so many number of suicide, especially suicide at the young age, the college going students, school going students. The young age people committing suicide more in India when compared to the any other world. Now you see these mental health issues that produce so much of burden to the Indian economy. But still we are not bothered about the mental health, still we are not talk about the mental health. We are completely neglecting the mental health. Why this is happen? Because whatever the mental health issues we are having, we immediately jump into the conclusion that it is our weakness. For example, if you are having any fever, you won't take that particular fever as your weakness. But if you are feeling low, immediately you think that it is because of your weakness you are feeling low. Not only you, the other person, the close associate of you, they immediately came and tell you that you should be strong. You should not worry about those things. Like that they are giving the advices. So what in here happening is, whatever the mental health issues we are encountering, we immediately think that it is a personal weakness. We don't think all the mental health issues is a biological one. It is a disease process. This is the one thing. The main reason why we are neglecting mental health issues, whatever the mental health issues we are having, we think that it is a part of the illness, mental illness. For us, all mental illness are same, untreatable, uncurable. So whatever the mental health issue, if you are having any fever, if you are having any fear, if you are having any palpitation, if you are having any suspiciousness, if you are having any angry, you think that am I okay? Am I normal? Or am I suffering from any major mental illness? So one aspect we think that all the mental health issues is not a disease, it is a personal weakness. On the other hand, we think that all the mental health issues is a part of the major mental illness which is incurable. These both ideas are wrong. Actually, there are two things. When you take a physical health, all physical health problem is not a disease. You are having obesity, that particular obesity is not a disease. But when you are not giving enough importance to the obesity, that obesity may turn into a disease. Like that, all mental health issues is not a disease, but when you are not giving importance to those mental health issues, that may convert into a disease. So that is why we should talk about the mental health issues first. The other thing, anyone is talking about their mental health issues to us, we have to understand them rather advise them. Most often we are not understand the people. We immediately give some solution to that problem and we think that that problem is closed. But that particular person is having the mental health issue, they are ruminating over the mental health issues. Finally what happens? They will hopeless, they will helpless and they will be suicidal. So whenever we are neglecting mental health issues, if you are not giving much importance to those issues, that may be a lethal one. That will be the main reason for the most of the burden we are giving to the Indian health economy. So we should bother about the mental health issues. Before that, we should talk about the mental health issues. Whatever problem we are having, we should openly discuss about that. This particular attitude to be encouraged throughout the India. Then only these particular mental health issues has been addressed properly and addressed appropriately. So first we have to talk about all those issues.
Doctor, what is stress?
Stress is nothing but, actually it is the activation of our alert system. Whenever we are facing any impending danger, what happens? Biologically some system to be activated either to fight against that particular danger or flight against the particular danger. It is called the fight or flight response. For example, when you encounter any snake in your room, what happens? There will be some activation of arousal system. Either you are going to kill that snake or you are going to escape from that particular room. Both for killing the snake or running out of the room need extraordinary energy. This extraordinary energy, how it is possible? Only by activating your biological alert system, that will produce this type of extraordinary energy. Activation of this particular alert system is called the stress. So stress means it is not an abnormal one. Stress means it is not an unhealthy one. In everyday life, stress is part of the life, part and parcel of the life. People most often feel, why I am only having these type of stresses? The stress is happen to everyone. No one is immune to the stress. The thing is, how effectively you are dealing to the stress is more important than avoiding the stress. Nowadays people are, especially the parents, they are rearing their children without giving any stress. What makes them, at one point of time, they are not able to deal with the stress. they are not able to cope with the stress. When they go out of the home, if they face any problem, they are not able to deal because they are not adequately trained with how you can effectively deal with the stressor, because all the stress taken by the parents, they won't give any stress to the children. So this particular stress is necessary and it is needed for the development of human beings. So stress is not an abnormal one, it is a normal and part and parcel of your everyday life.
How to do how to deal stress?
Yes, dealing with the stress is makes us the different. Not how much of stress I am having, how much of stress the other person is having, that is not makes us different one, but how effectively we are dealing with the stress, that makes us the difference. Some individual deals with the stress more effectively, they can handle stress very effectively, they won't have any problem. But other type of person, they are having a problem with how to deal effectively with the stress, they will always end up with some problem. How to deal with the stress is very important question nowadays, because every person, even during this particular lockdown, every person having some point of stress. To deal with the stress, first of all you should think that this particular stress is not an abnormal one, it is a normal one. The second thing is, you should have enormous experience, you should have enormous learning to deal with any kind of stress. So since from the childhood you should be an independent one, you should think independently, you should deal all the problems independently, then only you have that particular potential to deal with any stressor. So this particular dealing with the stress is not coming with the one day, actually it is a process, it starts from your childhood. So whenever you are facing any stress, don't be afraid, you should face the stress, you should decide that I am going to face this particular stress alone or with the help of others. If you think that this particular stress is beyond the scope of myself, there is nothing wrong to get a help from the other person. So then only you can plan that particular the process. You can plan how effectively to deal with that. You should spend extraordinary amount to deal with the particular stress. You should not be afraid. That is the main thing to face with the any stress.
How to differentiate normal sad feelings from clinical depression?
Yes, actually, that is the very important question nowadays, because I am feeling low. It is a part of everyday conversation. I think everyone is saying that. Everyone is talking about I am having some low mood. I am depressed. Nowadays we are encountering or heard so many people are saying that I am not okay, doctor. I am feeling low. Maybe I am suffering from depression. So first of all, we should differentiate what is the normal sad mood and what is the depressive disorder, the clinical depression. Feeling from depression is completely different from suffering from depression. Feeling from depression is happen because we are living in the world having so much of stress. So every day we are facing with so much of stresses. Based on that, we may have feel low at some point of time. That is not the clinical depression. Clinical depression means is suffering from depression. Because of low mood, I am suffering. Suffering means that will affect my everyday life, that will affect my communication, that will affect my energy, that will affect my interest, that will affect my sleep, that will affect my appetite, that will affect my work, that will affect my relationship with others. So it will affect every part of my life. Because of this particular thing, I am suffering more. This suffering is not 1 or 2 days matter. If this particular suffering is persisted for more than 2 weeks, then only you can call it as a depressive disorder, clinical depression. Feeling low with 1 or 2 days is not a clinical depression. You are suffering because of depression. All of your daily activities has been completely changed or completely lost because of this particular depressive mood. for more than 2 weeks, then you can call it as a clinical depression.
How do we approach a person who is feel low?
That is the very necessary question nowadays, because whenever I am seeing any patient having any problem in my clinic, most often, more than this particular problem, what is more worrying for the patient is they are saying that, sir, no one can understand me. I am having so much of problem within myself. I am not able to come out of it. But people are thinking that I am deliberately doing all those things. My energy has been completely lost. My interest has been completely lost. My coping strategies has been completely lost. But people are thinking that I am simply lying bed because I don't want to do. Like that they are thinking that even they are forcing me to do something, forcing me to go and have some work. Like that people are always forcing me. People are not understand me. So most often, even sometimes people attempted suicide. Sometimes even people committed suicide. When we retrospectively inquired those family members, they often say that even before attempted or committed suicide, they said that I feeling suicidal, I am feeling hopeless, I am feeling worthless. But we neglected, sir. We ignored that particular thing, sir. We gave some simple advice. We are not understand at the time. That is only make the problem is more complicated. So whenever anyone of your close associate came to you and said that they are not okay, don't give any simple advices. Just understand them that they are not okay. You should stay along with them. You should give some hope. Whatever the problem you are facing, you are not facing alone. We are also with you. Like that, the hope you should give to that particular person rather giving simple advices.
Fear about COVID is normal or abnormal, sir?
Yes, nowadays for the past couple of months, especially more than 7 or 8 months, on one hand, people are very much panicking. They are often testing. Even I know some patient, they tested RT-PCR for more than 100 times in the past 8 months. So on hand, people are very much having fear about that particular COVID. They are always keeping worrying about that particular COVID. They are always doing hand washing. They didn't go out of the hospital. They are always staying in the hospital. Even they are make their family members not to go out of the home. Like that, they are creating so much of problem in the home. They keep on testing. Even the small body issues, the body pain or body aches, immediately they went to the lab and gave the sample for the COVID testing. That much of fear about the COVID is one hand. On the other hand, people are not worrying about the COVID. They are casually went to the outside and roaming around without wearing any mask, without using any hand sanitization. They are completely not bothered about the COVID. Actually, these two approach is a wrong. Excessive fear also is wrong. No fear also it is a wrong. So fear is a adaptive response. Not only a COVID, for anything you should have some fear. For example, for our children we used to say, tomorrow is having your exam, at least you should have some fear about the exam, then only you can read. So the fear is not abnormal one, fear is the adaptive one. Fear is the necessary one. This particular fear only makes us to do something. So to the some extent that particular fear is normal. But this fear makes you to suffer, or this fear make others to suffer, then this is abnormal. So even if you do not have any fear, that is also abnormal. You are having fear, out of fear you are giving trouble to others, that is also abnormal. But to the some amount of fear about something is a normal one, it is not abnormal one.
What are all the psychological consequences of COVID-19?
Even nowadays, particularly following lockdown, there are two specialities having so many number of cases. I think one is the physician, the another one is psychiatrist. Yes, especially even after the lockdown, we are having the so much of patient. Actually, every psychiatric clinic there will be a overwhelming crowd. I don't know whether this particular COVID directly related to the anxiety or it is second some psychological reaction to the lockdown. But definitely there will be an increased psychiatric morbidity following this COVID-19 infection. It is not only a my statement, but around the world there are lots of research is going on. There are lots of paper has been published about the post-COVID psychiatric morbidity. So every research, even Lancet released one particular paper. Every paper they have accepted that definitely there was increased psychiatric morbidity. Especially people are having more anxiety nowadays. Who are all risk for this particular psychological morbidity? One is the elderly age, another one is the female, the middle-aged female. They are more vulnerable for this particular post-COVID psychological morbidities. Definitely there will be a more psychological morbidities we are seeing in those days, particularly anxiety disorder. In some patient we are having depression also. Definitely this particular psychological morbidity has been increased. That might be due to direct relation with the COVID, or that might be secondary to the lockdown. Because in lockdown, our regular life has been completely changed. So there was no external demands. We forced to live in the home. So there are so many domestic problems we are encountering. There are no income. Our income has been reduced. The uncertainty about the future. There are so many reasons make the people vulnerable for some psychological morbidity. Definitely there will be an increased psychological morbidity in post-COVID era.
What is mental illness, sir?
Mental illness. First thing the people should know that all mental illness is not same, as like as physical illness. You are not saying that, you won't say that all physical illness are the same. In physical illness, there will be some mild physical illness called the common cold, cough, LRI, to the major cancer, the HIV and AIDS, or so many severe illness will be there. Like that in mental illness, it starts from mild depression to the major mental illness like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. So first of all, you should know that all mental illness is not same. There are many number of mental illness are there, but most of the mental illness are easily treatable and curable. Only a minor part of the mental illness, especially the schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, that is also treatable but is not curable. You need a lifelong treatment. So mental illness is nothing but a disorder of the mind. If you say disorder of mind, you should know that what is mind. Mind is nothing but it is composed of your mood, your emotions, your thought, your thinking and your intellect. Any problem in your mood, any problem in your thinking process, any problem in your intellect, that will produce the mental illness. So these type of mental illness most often is treatable and curable. Only some mental illness is very difficult to treat, but still that is a treatable illness.
Doctor, what is counseling?
Counseling is nothing but every day we are facing so much of problem, but we are having very much of confusion about how to solve the problem. Nowadays, even after urbanization, the decision making is a problematic one. How I make a decision, how I stick on my decision. Nowadays people are taking decision very rapidly, very quickly, but very quickly they change their decision also. they are not stable with their decision making process. So people are having some problem in this type of decision making problem. They can approach the professionals for those particular thing. For example, if they are facing any problem, if they are facing any stress, they are having confusion about how to take a decision, what decision I should take. If they are not very much confident enough, they should approach some professional, preferably they are a neutral person. This particular professional having telling that various fact, they will put various facts in front of you and make them to decide. So that particular professional won't take any decision for you, but they will tell various facts about those decisions and make you to select which is right for you, which is up for you. That particular process is called the counseling. Anyone can do a counseling, not only a psychiatrist, not only a psychologist, anyone, even your friend, your teacher, your family member can do a counseling. Counseling is completely a different one. It's based on some problem, how to take a decision. But therapy is completely different from counseling. Therapy is based on some psychological principles. We try to help to arrive at a particular decision. It is based on some theory, based on some systematic principles. This particular therapy is given by a psychiatrist and psychologist, not by everyone.
Who needs counseling?
Anyone facing any problem. So because of that, if they are suffering because of that problem, they are having very much confusion about how to solve that problem at their hand. If they are not having a very good support system, if they are feel lonely, if they are feeling low, if they are feeling suicidal, if they are feeling fearfulness, if they are feeling uncertainty, if they are encountering any major stress in their lifetime, anyone can approach for the counseling.
Taking medicine for behavior problem is really helpful.
Yes, really helpful. Nowadays, there are so much of people would prescribe the psychiatric medication to the people. Nowadays, the psychological issues, it's not only caused by the psychological reasons. Most often, the biological reasons will produce these type of psychological issues. For example, when you take a depression, most often we think that this depression is caused by some problem in their home, some problem in their workplace. Like that we are thinking. But that is not true. Most often the clinical depression is caused by the biological abnormality. In those biological abnormality, only the medication, only the pharmacological treatment only will correct those biological abnormalities. So in those situations, definitely you should take a medication for completely coming out of that particular issues. So when relation to that, most of the psychiatric the condition, now they are having the pharmacological treatment. So there are so much of molecules nowadays. When compared to the 50 to 60 years ago, there was only one or two medication available, but nowadays we are having so much of molecules. Transiently, we are giving only for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Completely we can treat with the medication. So definitely there will be improvement with these type of medication.
Are psychiatric medications really dangerous?
Certainly not. So before coming to that particular question, in comment section some people are asking some question. I think I will go for it. Kushbu Desai, she asked that, hi doctor, just want to ask how to help senior citizen fight depression. That is a very good question, madam. Yes, the old age people, particularly geriatric individual, they are highly vulnerable for depression for various reasons. One is the biological reasons, another one is the psychological reasons. Biological reasons, in the old age, definitely there will be some shrinkage of brain. One, definitely they are having so much of systemic illness, hypertension, diabetes, so many systemic illness they are having. All those systemic illness will produce the depression. So biologically they are vulnerable. Psychologically, in old age people, there are most often they may be destituted by the caregivers, the death of close friends, loss of employment, loss of income. So everything happening in the old age that may make the people to vulnerable for all kind of depression. So first of all, any people, any old age individual developing depression is more probably a biological depression rather than the psychological depression. Definitely you should start medication for those particular depression. Most often what we are doing in our home is we go and simply advise to the elderly individuals, stay back, stay strong, like that we are giving advice, do yoga and other things we are recommending. But more than that, the medication is more necessary for the geriatric depression. Definitely you should bring them to the psychiatrist.
Doctor, how to live life peacefully?
You should aware about yourself. There are three things that is more important to actually to live life peacefully is a gift, but it is ideal, but it is not possible, I think, because in this particular world every day definitely we are encountering so much of problems, so much of stress from the family also to the workplace also, even to the from the country, from the state, from everywhere we are encountering so much of problems. So living peacefully is not our goal, but living healthy should be our goal. How we should live healthy? See, complete health it is not possible at all. Not only a mental health, even 100% physical health is not completely possible. So 100% health it is not possible. It is a utopian concept. It is an ideal concept. We should work for that, but that is not possible at all. But we should work, we should strive hard for achieving the completely healthy state, for which you should aware about the yourself. You should relate well with the others. All your action should be useful to yourself as well as to others. At least you should not be detrimental to yourself as well as to others. When you keep these three things intact, then your life will be a healthy one. Here in comment section there will be some question. Is there a direct relation between the food that we eat and experiencing depression? Definitely there will be a direct relationship between the food and depression. Nowadays we are calling the gastrointestinal system as a second brain. First brain is completely different. This is a second brain. Why nowadays we are encountering so much of mental health issues, especially depression, when compared to the 50 to 60 years ago? When you go back to the 100 years ago, definitely there was no depression. But nowadays we are experiencing depression. Every individual at some point of time having this particular depression. Why this particular depression is highly prevalent nowadays? It is because of food we are eating. So this food habit and this change of food, this change of how to process the food, everything makes the individual vulnerable for these kind of mental health psychological issues. Definitely there is a relationship. Hi doctor, is it normal to feel low one day and feel happy the other day? How to tackle this roller coaster emotion that keep changing? Yes, even with the minor mood swing, people are immediately blamed that you are a bipolar disorder. You are having the mood swings. That is not a normal. Definitely that is a normal. When you say your mood is normal, one simple example is you are feeling happy with the happy stimulus. It is a normal. If you feel low with the depressive stimulus, for example, someone of your close friend has been died, how your mood will be a sad mood. If you are feeling happy in the situation, that is the abnormal. So one is definitely if there is any stimulus, there will be some mood change. If you are feeling low means definitely there should be some stimulus for that particular low mood. If you are feeling happy means definitely there should some stimulus for this happy mood. If without stimulus you feel low, without stimulus you feel happy, then that is abnormal. The second thing is your mood is appropriate to the stimulus. In a happy stimulus, you should feel happy, but in a happy stimulus, if you feel low, then that is abnormal. If there is a stimulus, there is a mood, definitely that is a normal thing. There is no need to panic or worry about all those things. Yes, ma'am.
Doctor, what is psychological first aid?
Psychological first aid is like a physical first aid. If anyone we are seeing in the roadside, they are having the major road traffic accident, what immediately we will do? We immediately cover that particular wound. We immediately try to stop the blood is coming out, because before reaching a hospital, that person should be stay intact. Psychological first aid also is the same thing. If you are feeling, if you are thinking, or if you are feeling that any of our close relative or friend, if they are feeling low, if they are feeling suicidal, if they are feeling anything abnormally, you should reach to the hospital immediately. You should seek help for those all those problems. But before taking that particular person to the hospital, you should console them, you should stay with them, you should understand them. That is the psychological first aid. So before you are seeking the professional help, you should make the person is very much safe with your custody, with your protection. That is called the psychological first aid.
Thank you, doctor, for sharing this valuable information around the topic of depression. If you wish to consult doctor, call 1-860-500-7788 or visit www.apolloclinic.com for appointments.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for the patience listening. Thank you.